Hello everyone, my name is Mr. Bryce and I'm with Susquehanna Valley High School here in Conklin, New York. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going over the Algebra 1 Common Core Regents exam from Thursday, January 28, 2016. So you have to answer all 24 of these multiple choice questions and it's going to receive 2 points each. If you don't know the answer, obviously you want to eliminate incorrect answers and pick from the remaining. Number 1, in the function f of x equals x minus 2, quantity squared, plus 4. The minimum value that occurs is when x is what? Well, several of you in class said, let's just substitute in negative 2. So we find out what f of negative 2 is and see what the value is. Well, f of negative 2 happens to be 20. So we just did some quick mental calculations and plugged in what f of 2 was, what f of negative 4 was, and what f of 4 was. And it says which one is the minimum. So let me see, which one is smaller, 4, 20, 40, or 8? The minimum value is choice 2. Another way to do it is to figure out that graphing this problem, this moves to the right 2 and up 4. That's the vertex. This is vertex form of the problem. So here is the vertex, and it says we're going to move it to the right 2 and up 4. Now this is the new parabola, and the vertex is the minimum because it's positive there. So we can know that that was 1, that was 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the minimum is 2, 4, and we're looking for the x value, which is 2. So that's 2 ways to solve that question. Question number 2, the graph below is created by an employee at a gas station. Which statement can be justified by using the graph? We're using the graph. 10 gallons of gasoline was purchased, $35 was paid. We go to 10, we go up, we say, is it 35? No, it's more than 35. For every gallon of gasoline purchased, $3.75 was paid. Well, I can't go to 1 and see if it's 375 because I don't know where 375 is. So I look for a coordinate and I see that 4 gallons of gasoline costs $15. $15 divided by 4. That's the rate of change, which happens to be 375. Let's just check because maybe that was off a little bit. Here is 8 gallons of gasoline, 30. 30 divided by 8 is 375. So that is the correct answer. Let's make sure that the other ones are wrong. For every 2 gallons of gasoline purchased, $5 was paid. So we go to the graph because it says, according to the graph, 2 gallons of gasoline, that's definitely more than $5. If 0 gallons of gas were used, were purchased, 0 miles were driven. What? What crazy person put miles here? There's nothing dealing with miles, so that doesn't have anything to do with the chart. The correct answer is 2. Number 3, for a recently released movie, the function y equals 119/67 times 61 hundredths to the x models the revenue earned in y in millions of dollars each week for several weeks after its release. This is an exponential model because the variable x is an exponent. Based on the equation, how much more money in millions of dollars were earned in revenues in week 3 than week 5? That means week 3 must be higher. So we take 119.67 and we plug in 3 for x. We plug in 3 for x, and we get out a number. Then we do 119.67 times 61 hundredths to the 5th. We plug that into the calculator. And this says, what's the difference? How much more did we collect? Choice 3. Number 4, given the following expression, which expressions result in an irrational number? We're just crazy here. Remember, pi is an irrational number, 3.14159 5, 4, and so on. That doesn't mean that it's a pattern. It means that it just keeps on going. And so it's irrational. It keeps on going. It doesn't stop, and it does not repeat. So we want to know which one of these is irrational, which one keeps on going and does not stop. We type this into our calculator, and guess what? It stops. And it turns into negative 1 and 225 thousandths. How do I know it stops before even typing it in the calculator? They're two fractions. Fractions will always terminate or repeat. Okay, you add and subtract fractions, it's always going to be a rational number as long as there isn't anything radical. And I'm not talking about a hippie from the 60s, okay, a radical in the fraction. Okay, now, so let's test out number 3. Square root of 5 times square root of 5. Well, guess what? That's square root of 5 squared. We're undoing, which happens to be the square root of 25, which is just 5. Oh, that looks like it stops. Yes, it does. So that's not irrational. Same thing with 3 times 7. What? Where'd you get 7? Square root of 49 is 7. So that's just 21. It stops just like 5. So the only one is this. And look, square root of 2. There is no square root of 2. It's not perfect square. So choice 2 and choice 2 only is our answer because the square root of 2 is irrational, and we add or subtract an irrational number to an irrational number, and we get something irrational. It does not stop. It does not repeat. Well, it looks like it stops on my calculator. That's because your calculator ran out of room. Which of the following inequality represents the graph below? Okay, make sure we know how to read these. That's less than. Well, can't I just do this on my calculator? Of course we can. But before doing it on our calculator, let's understand some basics here. That's the y-intercept, -3. -1, -2, -3. Okay, that's a possible answer. That's a possible answer because the y-intercept is -3. +2, where are you getting that puppy from? No, we have no y-intercept right there, +2. So question 3 and 4, or choice 3 and 4 are definitely wrong. Okay, we have a slope of 2 and we have a slope of 2. Both the slopes are the same. Up 2 over 1, 2 over 1. Okay, good. The slopes check out. Now, I always say take 0, 0 and plug it in. Is 0 less than or equal to 2 times 0 minus 3? Is 0 less than or equal to 0 minus 3? Is 0 less than or equal to -3? No, it is not. This was the less than. This is the greater than. The answer is choice 2. Check with your calculator. Here we are, Mr. Bryce. I'm on my calculator with the y equals. Wait a minute. It says y equals. It doesn't say y is greater than. Okay, so you hit the left arrow, not until you're on top of the equal sign, but until you're on that little blinky thing. That's just a line. Oh, now we're at a fat line. Okay, I'm not too sure about that, but this is what it looks like. It looks like that. The first one. Okay. Now, does that look like that? Kind of. If I rotate it a little bit, it looks like a greater than symbol. Now remember, when we're talking about our calculator, we want to put it right where that equal sign is. Okay, so now the greater than symbol is where the equal sign is. Good. That's the one we want to check. Go back over here, write 2x minus 3, 2x minus 3, bingo, bango, bango, and we have the graph. Fantastic. We just checked to make sure number 5 was correct. Number 6. We have someone borrowing some money from his uncle who's charging him a simple interest using the formula interest equals principal times rate times time to figure out what the interest rate R is. So we rearrange the formula to find out R. The new formula is, well, let me see, PRT equals I. I want to get what R is all by itself. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the commutative property of multiplication to say that it's really R times PT. I commuted the R and the T. Now, you notice that this is division or multiplication, so I have to divide to get the R by itself. And I have interest divided by principal times time. equals the rate. That is the answer, and it is choice 3. Number 7. Which equation is equivalent to that? Since we're at 10 minutes, I'm going to do number 7 on the next video. See you soon. If you have any questions, make sure you ask me in class.